Hey there YouTube, this is Leo Blaze 20 coming to you with an updated deck profile from the Digimon card game, this time for the blue-green Imperialdramon deck from AD-1 Digimon generation. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started. Again, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the older cards, just the newer ones that we got in, such as the new Imperialdramon and also the new Imperialdramon fighter mode. So let's go ahead and get into it. Digi-Eggs, I'm running 5, still 4 copies of the BT-12 Demi-Vmon, and 1 copy of the BT3 Demi-Vmon. Alright. Moving into level 3s, this did change slightly, but neither here nor there. Again, 4 copies of BT12 Vmon, 4 copies of the promo Vmon, got 4 copies of the BT12 Wormmon, 1 copy of the promo Wormmon, and then I am running 1 copy of the BT16 Wormmon to be able to have it start a main phase on play. If it's your turn, one of your Digimon may Digivolve until level 4, or the Insectoid trait, or free with your in your trash with the cost reduced by 1. And then inheritable is when attacking, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. So it's just a good way, like if you're stuck and you have nothing in hand, but you have something in trash to go into, it's kind of a nice way to kind of help you go into something, especially if the piece you have is in your trash. So that's it for level 3s, going on to level 4s. This didn't change at all. It's just still the same from the last profile I did. 4 copies of BT12 XVmon, 1 copy of EX1 XVmon, 4 copies of BT12 Stingmon, and 1 copy of the starter deck Stingmon. So again, that does it for level 4s. Going into level 5s. Now this did change because this includes a new card. So we still got 4 copies of the BT16 Imperialdramon. Still the main one you want to go into. And then now we got 3 copies of the new AD-1 Imperialdramon, which has partition. When digivolving until your opponent's turn ends, this Digimon can't be deleted in battle. Then if DNA digivolving, his attack target can't change for the turn. And then when attacking, he can digivolve into a Digimon card with Imperialdramon in the name from the hand with the digivolution cost reduced by 2. And inheritable inheritable is partition. So yeah, this is a good way to cheat up into. You can even just directly go into fighter mode if you wish, but again, just depends on what you have in your hand. And yeah, so pretty nutty card and really complements the deck well. It adds a layer of protection as well too. That's it for level 5s. Now we're going into level 6s, and this did change up a bit. So I know current builds right now, they're kind of pupil fluctuating, but I'm still on 4 copies of BT16 Imperialdramon Dragon Mode. I still like the all turns being able to react to your opponent's situation, to be able to jump up into fighter mode. People have been running the BT12 one so they can jump up into fighter mode for cheaper. I don't doubt that that's a bad card. Or no, I don't think that's a bad card at all. I just, I'm not interested in running it right now. I might experiment with it later, but we'll see. And now we got 2 copies of fighter mode from the new one from AD-1. Basically, security attack +1 and blocker, and digivolves over Dragon mode for a cost of 1. And then when digivolving or when attacking once per turn, return one of your opponent's lowest DP Digimon to the bottom of the deck. All turns, once per turn, when Digimon are played or digivolve, you may suspend one of your opponent's Digimon and unsuspend this Digimon. Then, if played or digivolve by effects, you may return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So, kind of a good way to clear out stuff. Definitely a nice floodgate effect, which, makes this deck more threatening. And then, then I'm running 1 copy still of the BT12 fighter mode, just because, it does have board wipe potential. And then also it gets a little bit more of a power gain. So if you need to absolutely get over something, you can. So, because with all the colors I'm running here, you can get them up to about 16,000, which is still pretty solid by Digimon standards. I know a lot of people are on 3 of the Secret Rare Fighter mode, but my buddy Galmon and I kind of discussed that, and he said definitely he agrees that minimum 2 the new fighter mode, and then teching, we read over BT12 and just kind of agreed to have a board wipe abilities kind of nice, you know, and especially for decks that have swarm abilities, you know, like Diaboromon or puppets or what have you. So that's it for level 6s. Level 7s, I know some people have swapped out because aces are going to be kind of come a little bit less of a thing, but I still think they're going to be necessary in certain situations, especially with dual cards being a thing, and counter timing can be weird, but I'm still on one BT17 Paladin mode ace. Again, just nice clutch finisher just to have, and, you know, just to screw over purple decks even more is pretty hilarious. Alrighty, and then that's it for Digimon. Going into Tamers. I changed this lineup just a little bit, but obviously still on 4 copies of the BT16 Davis and Ken. Still the most bonkers busted tamer. I know a lot of people still want it banned, but oh well. And then 3 copies of BT30 Davis. And I took out the BT17 Davis and Ken, but I might put it back in later. But I wanted to change the lineup a little bit and just see how it flowed. But anyway, that's it for tamers. On to options. Still on to Return to the Primogenitor. And then doing 2 other options here on Hammer Spark. And then a lot of people are like, what about Hidden Potential Discovered? HPD. Thought about that, but, you know, I just wanted to test something else out. I'll probably end up putting it back in here later. But especially with certain Swarm decks floating around, I wanted another board wipe option, so I decided to go with 1 copy of Gigadeath. Suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon, then place up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of the owner's decks in any order. Security, suspend 1 of your opponent's Digimon, then return 1 of their suspended Digimon to the bottom of the deck. So bouncing stuff to hand isn't really super powerful right now. I mean, it's still decent, but like you want to be able to have it where it removes and sends it to the bottom of the deck where they have no access to it, rather than, you know, bouncing it to hand to, you know, just let them have access to it next turn. So I think that's the smarter play. And yes, it is a little bit higher of a cost, but Megadeth, just because of the fact that it bounces back to hand, especially if it's an ace or something you're trying to clear, not really a good idea. So I think Gigadeath's the better option here. I'm going to experiment with it. Plus, you know, again, the board wipe capabilities of it, up to 10 of your opponent's suspended Digimon at the bottom of their deck, is pretty good. So anyway, that does it for this deck profile, guys. Again, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And again, this is LeoBlaze20 signing out.